Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm having one of those days where you just stay at home and just do nothing and chill. And it's nice to get to wear your at home clothes all day. Cause since this year I feel like I've been getting more into fashion, and one of the things I've come to realize is that it's not very comfortable to wear nice looking clothes all the time. So when I wear the clothes that I wear when I'm outside, it's pretty uncomfortable, especially when I wear jeans. It's pretty tight on my legs, so then it's just not that comfortable. So when I come home, I have to take it off immediately and put on some exercise pants or something, just because they're so much more comfortable. So being able to wear clothes like this all day is it's such a blessing. But also, the weather these days is pretty frustrating. We're at the time of autumn, so we're kind of in, is this the first or second month? I think we're about middle of autumn at the moment. And we're at that stage where in the morning it's so cold, and then by midday, by lunchtime, it's really, really warm, and at night it's freezing again. So if you leave in the morning to go out, you have to wear a jacket or something, and then at lunchtime you'll just be burning and sweating, and then at night you'll be freezing again. It's so hard to dress for this. You always have to bring a bunch of clothes with you or something. So yesterday when I went out, I left in the morning with I was wearing a sweater and I wore a jacket over. And by the time I arrived, I went somewhere that was about 40 minutes away from me. By the time I arrived, it was so hot, and I was sweating a lot. So then I took off my jacket, and then I tried to shove it into my bag, because the jacket was pretty big, my bag was really small, but somehow I got it in there. And then I just walked around a lot, and I was still getting pretty hot. I mean, it was probably all the walking in the sun. But then by nighttime I was getting kind of cold again, so I put on my jacket. But then once I got into the subway, the heater was on, and then I got really warm again, so I had to take it off on the subway. And I got out, and it was kind of cold again, and it was just it was just frustrating. I can't wait till it gets to a stage where I can just dress one way, and that's that can just be the whole day's clothing. Anyway, first world problem. It's not that big of a deal to hold my jacket, honestly. On the topic of autumn weather, I've been seeing this around recently, and I kind of want to participate as well. Today what I want to do is the autumn tag. So I've been seeing quite a few videos of this on YouTube, and I think it's pretty fun. I really like autumn, so I don't know if it's my favorite season. I would say it's my favorite season in Korea. In Australia, I'd say winter is my favorite season, because winter isn't that extreme. But I guess winter in Australia and autumn here is pretty similar. So feel free to answer these questions as well in the comments. Let me know how you feel about these things. I think these are really, really fun to do. So first one, favorite thing about autumn. So there's too many things. I'll just say two things because they're kind of different. First thing is, I just love how beautiful outside is, and how easy it is to go out, because it's not super cold or super hot. So you can just go out, admire all the beautiful leaves, and then you can take some really beautiful pictures, and it's really easy to enjoy the outdoors in this season. But then also I really like the autumn food, chestnuts and pumpkins and apples, apple cinnamon. Oh my gosh, I love those things so much. I think they're all desserts, but that's the kind of person I am. Second question, spooky autumn or cozy autumn? 100% cozy autumn. I love the feeling of being able to wrap myself in my blanket and wear all these layers. I just love the feeling. I love wearing sweaters and jackets, and I just love wearing warm things. But my favorite thing is just having a blanket. In my videos recently, you've been seeing this blanket behind me. What I do is as soon as I feel cold, I just put my arms behind me, grab it, and just wrap myself up like a cocoon, or like a burrito maybe. So yeah, I just really love like that cozy feeling, and I feel like autumn is such an amazing time for that cozy feeling. And I actually really love going to bed. I mean, I love going to bed all the time, but autumn is probably my favorite time to go to bed because you just like you jump in and it's like outside's cold, and then inside your blanket it's just warm and soft and amazing feeling. It's not like summer where you can't like you want your blanket but then it's too hot and then you're like kind of sweating, but then you if you go in your blanket you're gonna sweat more, but then if you go out you're still gonna sweat, but you're just gonna be not comfortable at the same time. It's just autumn is amazing for being cozy. Haunted house or Halloween party? That one's a bit hard because I haven't experienced either one. We don't really have a big Halloween culture in Australia and also Korea as well. Um, oh, that's a hard one actually for me. I would say maybe Halloween party. I I'm not that like I do like watching scary movies, but I'm not into like actually scaring myself. So I don't know if I'd enjoy a haunted house that much. But I do like the idea of a Halloween party where everyone dresses up. It'd be cool to dress up and go to one, but I've never been to one because it's not really a thing in Australia. Maybe I should start one. Carve pumpkins or paint pumpkins? I had no idea painting pumpkins was a thing at all. This is another thing I've never done. I do kind of want to try carving pumpkins. That sounds like it could be fun. I think it could be cool to like make some cool like carving designs and then putting a candle inside. Yeah, I'd say carved pumpkins. Go apple picking or go on a hayride? Okay, this one I don't know what is a hayride. Maybe I should Google what that is. Oh, okay. So it's like you're riding on that like on a tractor wagon thing, that the thing that holds the hay. So you just ride in that. I I don't. I mean, it might be fun. It seems like it could be fun, but I don't see what's special about it. Yeah, I'd say apple picking. I haven't tried either of these, but apple picking, especially if you go with friends or family, it sounds like a really fun activity. So I'd say apple picking. Pumpkin spice lattes or mulled apple cider. I don't know what mulled means, but I do like both of the. Actually, wait. I've never tried a pumpkin spice latte. They haven't been sold in the places that I've lived in before. I've had a pumpkin latte in Korea, but I don't think that's the same as a pumpkin spice latte. But I love everything pumpkin. But then I really do like apple cider too. But I'd say, I think for me, ideal my ideal autumn vibe would probably be the pumpkin spice latte. I feel like that goes with that cozy vibe. The apple cider, I feel like it goes more with like a bit more of like a fun party mood. Even though I do like both of them, I'd say I'd lean more towards the pumpkin spice latte. That just feels a lot more cozy to me. Like I could be wrapped in a blanket and drinking a latte. What did you dress up for Halloween last year? I don't think I dressed up. I don't think I dressed up. Yeah. Oh wait. Yes, I did. So at school, for the kids to like just be fun, I dressed up as a dinosaur. It's really funny. So I had this dinosaur costume, and it actually had a tail and everything. And I went around to all the kids and so I went around to all the kids' classrooms, and it's kind of weird because we did like a reverse trick or treating where me and one of my teachers, we went together and we'd knock on the classroom, and then we'd be the ones in costumes, and then they would have to come to us and say trick or treat to us, and then they can get a candy. It was weird, but it was just for them to like experience like a kind of like Western culture kind of thing. But lunchtime, I was still I wanted to wear the costume the whole day. Like I was saying that it was for the sake of the kids, but honestly I liked wearing the costume. It was pretty fun. But at lunchtime, all the grade 1s and 2s started like following me and like pulling my tail and like just chasing my tail. And I don't teach the grade 1s and 2s, so that was their first exposure to me. And now this year, I'm teaching grade 3s who were grade 2s last year, so some of them they remember me. So when I first came into class, like when we were allowed to come into class offline again, some of the kids were calling me dinosaur teacher because they still remember me as the dinosaur teacher. But yeah, so I actually did dress up. I think before I came here and working this job, I didn't really dress up for Halloween because it's not really a big thing in Australia. But I feel like I kind of want to make it a thing, not for the sake of like celebrating Halloween, but I like the idea of like dressing up and having fun. I feel like that could be cool. Maybe I'll try it for a video next year when I'm back in Australia. Falling rain or crackling fireplace? 100% falling rain. I mean, I do like the sound of both of them, but I feel like the sound of falling rain just makes me feel a lot more at peace. And I do like the sound more, 100% more when I'm inside my house. I don't like it as much when I'm outside anywhere. I want to hear it from in my house, because if I'm outside anywhere, the sound of rain just makes me feel like I have to go out at some point. I have to get home eventually, so I'm gonna have to go through that. But when I'm in my house, I can just like look out the window and just stare at it, and I don't have to worry about ever having to like leave. And I feel like the falling rain sound, it goes really well with that that cozy autumn vibe, with like wearing a blanket and having like a hot drink in your hand. Oh, it just sounds so perfect. Have you purchased any fall decor yet? I haven't purchased any decor at all. Because I'm going to be moving to another country in a few months, I'm not planning to get anything more for my house. I think the only thing that I'm planning to get, maybe this counts, is I'm planning to get a diffuser, a new one. So I want to get something that's kind of like autumny. I don't know what's an autumn scent, but if I can find something, that's what I want to get. That's probably going to be the closest thing I'm going to get to decor. But maybe next year I want to try and do some like cool like decor things, like change the decor of my room like every once in a while, like after I move back. I don't know, I'll probably try and include that in some of my vlogs. Favorite photo that you took last fall? So last year, so in Korea there's this culture of going out with like your friends or your family or co-workers or something to go and see the foliage. So I went with a group of my friends, and it was so cool. We went to Seoul Grand Park, and like 80% of the park was like just colorful at that point. It was really, really beautiful. And I remember we were standing by a lake. There's like this big lake in the middle of the park. We were standing by there and like as a group, posing for a group shot, and behind us was the lake, and then around us was just all these like orange and red and brown colored leaves, and we're just all there together taking a picture. And I think is that the last? It's either the last or second last group picture we got all together, because we've kind of all gone different ways a bit. But I actually really like that picture. I want to go look at it later. Favorite autumn themed movie? This one, I've seen. What's an autumn themed movie? I can't think of any. It's got to be something. I actually went to like Google a bunch of movie suggestions because I actually can't think of anything that's specifically autumn. But one of the things I saw was You've Got Mail, and I actually watched that pretty recently, like maybe a couple months ago, because I haven't seen that for like over 10 years, and I actually really love those old would you just call them like just romantic movies? Those really old romantic movies. They're not that old, but like romantic movies from like the 90s, early 2000s. Like I feel like this year I really come to appreciate those, and I really like how there's something like so classic feeling about them, but I also like how they show like this time that's like it doesn't exist anymore. Most of them are like in one of like the major cities in America, like New York or Seattle, Chicago, like those kind of places. I feel like most of them are in New York though, and they show like what New York was like back then, and it has like this. I feel like that's what everyone thinks of when they think of New York, and now of course New York's so different, but I remember I grew up watching movies and TV series and all that kind of stuff with New York looking like that, and that's kind of like what I want to experience of New York, even though it's not the same. but it's really like this idyllic image, and I just love how those movies like paint that idyllic picture for me. So I really like watching those really old romantic movies, even older than 90s, like even 80s. I don't know if I watched something as far back as the 70s yet, but I might try it. Like I just really like those old romantic movies, and also I like how simple things seemed back then, and people used to like dress so differently and speak very differently, and I like how like there's so many problems created that don't exist anymore because of technology. It's so interesting to watch those movies. Favorite color to wear in autumn? I'd say either yellow or green. I like how they complement the atmosphere outside. And I also like how it kind of makes you look like a tree. So I'm kind of like showing trees the color that they once were. And it's kind of like a subtle flex towards them. No, but for real though, like I like I like how it just kind of like the trees around outside and just everything just really like complements those colors. Favorite autumn themed book? That one, I honestly I don't read that much, but what I have read, I don't. Are there books that are autumn themed? Okay, I don't think I would have an answer for this because I read very like specific things and I don't even read that often. Best way to spend a rainy day? Oh my gosh, okay, 100%. I have like this like ideal way to spend my rainy days. So I definitely gotta have a movie on. So I gotta decide like it's gotta be something really like chill, and then I either gotta like I'm gonna like make something that's like really nice, something that I really love, one of my favorite foods, or something that I'm like really craving, or something that reminds me of home, or I'm gonna get some delivery food, and it's gonna be something that I don't get that often. And then I'm gonna watch like a movie, and I'm just gonna enjoy the food, the movie, and I'm just gonna sit down and just relax and enjoy. Favorite autumn food? Okay, this one. I'm sure you guys have figured out like how much I'm into food. I wasn't really into like autumn specific food until probably like last year maybe. Yeah, I think so. I didn't really know there was that much autumn food, and now I realize like how good that stuff is. I love like chestnuts and pumpkin. I love pumpkin everything. I'm obsessed with pumpkin. I've been eating like pumpkin porridge. I actually have some pumpkin porridge back there. It's what I had for lunch, and I've been having a lot these days. I'm probably gonna have it for dinner too because I bought a lot of it by accident. Yeah, just pumpkin everything. Last year was the first time I ever had pumpkin pie because that's really an American thing. It's not a thing in Australia, but I wish it was because it's so good. Yeah, I'd say to keep it broad, my favorite autumn food would be just pumpkin, the vegetable, and then by like naturally I'd like everything that includes pumpkin in it. One of the things that I desperately really want to have in August, I took a trip to Busan, and I went to this cafe that had like these like pumpkin flavored fudgy brownies, and it was like one of the best things I've ever had. But I don't know what it's actually called, and I don't know, like I can't work out how to make it because I've been trying to like look for recipes of it, but it's not really the same. It's usually people infusing pumpkin with the brownie, but I don't want it to be like chocolate brownie. I want it to be pumpkin flavored, but also like fudgy. It was so good, but it's like I have to like get an expensive train to take me there, and it's like 3 hours away just for that. I mean, it's probably worth it, but still. Favorite autumn quote? What's an autumn quote? Who quotes stuff about autumn? I think I'm gonna skip that one. Favorite autumn leaf? What? That one's a bit weird, but I mean, I think I like them when they get like really red, and I like the one that's like that maple shape. I don't know if I've ever seen one like that. I'm like looking out the window and I can see some trees like right in front of my place. It's like bright red right now, and I'm kind of tempted to just go out there and like look at the leaves. But yeah, I really like those like that maple shape. I think it's like the shape of that leaf that's on the Canadian flag. Like I like that shape. That's a nice shape. feel weird like describing my favorite type of leaf. Actually, I feel like that's my favorite leaf aesthetically. But then I also I like to just step on the crunchy ones, so the crunchy leaves are the good ones too. Favorite autumn activity? Ooh, okay. So like what I described is my best way to spend a rainy day. I love to do that in autumn so much when the weather is starting to get kind of cold. I like to just sit at home and I leave the windows open so my place gets really cold, and then I just fully burrito myself in a towel, not in a towel, in a blanket. And then yeah, and I just have lots of good hot food. I guess my favorite autumn activity might just be to go out and have a picnic in a place that's really beautiful and has a lot of foliage and stuff. Or go if the weather is a bit too cold, then I like to just go to some cafes with a nice atmosphere. Favorite autumn scent? I don't know what's an autumn scent. Oh wait, but cinnamon, 100%. As I feel every autumn food, apple whatever, and pumpkin whatever, they always have cinnamon, and I just love this. I love the smell of cinnamon on its own. I love the smell of cinnamon with anything. Cinnamon is perfection. I guess also if it was apple cinnamon, apple pie, I just love the smell of those things. I wouldn't mind just baking an apple pie every day just so I can have my house smelling like apple pie constantly. I just love the smell of cinnamon. It's heaven. And the last one, is your birthday in autumn? In Korea, yes, my birthday is in autumn, but in Australia, my birthday is in spring, and I prefer it in autumn. I love this weather for my birthday, and my birthday is actually coming up in a few weeks. So because my birthday is that late into autumn, it gets quite cold, so I can wear some decent clothes. I like the kind of fashion that you can wear in autumn, so when I do go to celebrate my birthday or something, I can dress up a bit. Whereas my birthday in Australia, it's approaching summer, so it's at the point where you're starting to die of heat when you dress up. So I don't appreciate that about my birthday in Australia, but I really, really like my birthday period in Korea just because of the season. So yeah, that's all the questions. I had a lot of fun answering these. I'll kind of do something similar to this in the future. Let me know if you have any suggestions for anything like this, and if you have any answers to these questions, let me know in the comments. This was really fun, and I highly recommend you trying it out too. It's so fun to do. And yeah, so that's pretty much going to be it today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.